Assalamu alaikum. Gentlemen, today my topic is motherboard and its internal components. In this video, I shall discuss about the definition of motherboard and the processor sockets, RAM slots, ID, ID slots, power connectors and SATA connectors. And the two main chips on motherboards, North bridge and South bridge. And moreover, AGB slots, what is the function of PC slots, CMOS battery, and the main functions, how many kinds of buses on the motherboards and their functions, and lastly, the ROM chip. Now I shall start my topic. What is motherboard? Each internal and external components is connected to the motherboard. Motherboard is made of fiberglass and is typically brown or green with a meshwork of copper lines. These lines are electronic circuits through which signals travel from one component to another. A motherboard is the main circuit board inside a computer that connects the different parts of a computer together. It has sockets for a CPU, RAM and expansion cards. It also hooks up to the hard drives, disk drives, power supply and front panel ports with cables and wires. CMOS battery. CMOS stands for complementary metal oxide semiconductor, a battery that maintains the time, date, hard disk and other configuration settings in the CMOS memory. CMOS batteries are small and are attached directly to the motherboards. Its life is 3 to 5 years. Processor socket uses a series of pins connect a CPU processor to the PC motherboards. RAM slots, here are four kinds of, two blue and two blacks. RAM slots allows RAM computer memory to be inserted into the computer. Most motherboards have 2 to 4 memory slots which determine the types of RAM used with the computer. The most common RAM types are SDRAMs and DDR-RAM for the desktop computers. Power connectors. The purpose of power connector is to distribute power to the CPU and other components of the motherboards. The main chip of motherboard is North bridge. A North bridge is an Intel chipset that communicates with the computer processor and controls interaction with memory. The North bridge is the connection between the high-speed processor bus and AGP bus. It's essentially the main components of the motherboard and is the only circuit that runs at full processor bus speeds. The South bridge chip. The South bridge is the low-speed components in the chipset. Its purpose is to handle the communication of ISA and PC buses. It also provides the physical interface between input and output devices and the motherboards. The function of bus in the motherboards. The heart of any motherboards are the various buses that carry signals between the components. Each device in the system is connected to a bus. There are mainly three types of buses: data bus, control bus and address bus. AGP slots. What is the purpose of AGP slots? The AGP system bus is a high-speed 64-bit bus primarily used for video and is connected to the North bridge. Only one AGP bus per system. ID connectors. ID connectors is a standard interface for connecting the motherboard to storage devices such as hard disks and CD, DVD, ROM drives. The original ID hard drive had 16-bit interface that connected two devices to a single ribbon cables. The interface provides a 40-pin connectors for attaching an ID hard drives to the computer. SATA connector. After ID connectors, the new invention is SATA connectors are the primary interface in most computers for connecting storage devices such as spinning hard disks, drives, CD, DVD, ROM, optical drives and SATA SSD drives. ROM. The last one is ROM, a read-only memory chip which contains the firmware or startup instruction for the computer system. This is also called the BIOS. This is the end of the PowerPoint presentation, and all the guys, I shall ask you to like it, subscribe.